And we're back! As you can see, we cleaned the entire garage. There's a lot more room for activities. But first things first, let's go over what we need to do. Coilovers. These Fortunato coilovers are fantastic, but it has an external reservoir that's suspended by 2 feet of dangly bit. We gotta figure out where we're gonna mount them. On our tiny little radiator, we gotta figure out how to fit this big old fan shroud. With the intercooler, we need to figure out how to mount this thing on the back side of it. The turbo? Well, we need to assemble the turbo. The intake manifold is going back on, but just for mock-up purposes, gotta get measurements. Before all that, we gotta get the front end back together. Okay, so we lied. While the tube front is off, we want to do the turbo, because once that tube front is on, it's kind of a pain to lean over and get things put in, so while it's off, we have plenty of room to play.
Really, it's the oil drain that we're worried about, because we can kind of stand here and make sure it's all nice and easy, because I can go like this.
Plenty of room.
Turbski time.
So this fitting is gonna have to somehow squeeze up in between.
Problem is we actually want the end of the nipple to be like here. And then we can do a hose from here to here.
All right, we're going on a road trip because the oil drain, we were fighting it for too long. And so David, I called him up over at 2JZ Motorsports because I do all of his fab work over there, if you guys didn't know that. And he is currently putting a motor together with the same turbo, same manifold, and he is also having problems with the oil drain. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna make him a custom one so that it fits, and then we're gonna make us a custom one so it fits, and then we're gonna come back and install it on the car. Okay, so we just got back from Dave's, and while I'm finishing making the oil drain, Jared's gonna finish putting on the heater core hose because we haven't got one of the little clamps from him. And, you know, being the smart person that he is.
You know,
show what you did.
When you get bored or you're like focusing on something and you have to do something with your hands, well, I was holding a clamp and I just slipped it on my finger and it won't come off of my finger. It is like stuck. Like when I push it up, it's just pushing my skin fat. Mm-hmm. Like it is stuck. Which you can pinch it and pull it off,
But we also know what happens when you pinch these clamps specifically, is they decide to slip off and go, and I can just already see, yeah, hold on, do you want me to pinch it while you pull your finger out?
Look at that, look how red it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, so now that I got that clamp off my finger, we did have to go to 2JZ Motorsports to help him with his oil drain for a turbo that he's working on. While we were there, Jaren made ours, and now we just have to fit everything up.
Yep. So we're pretty much, all we're gonna do, just so it's easier to get to, we're gonna pull the compressor housing off, and actually, we're gonna pull the whole center cartridge out, mount this to it with the center cartridge out because the bolts are kind of a pain to get to when it's inside the car. Then we'll measure our line, put that in, and then what do we have next?
Then we're good to go on that. Trying to figure out which way it's supposed to be mounted. Yeah.
I just won in the guessing game. Jared thought that those bolts would be a 5, but they are in fact a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I win.
Keep bragging.
Hey, you know what? I gotta take the wins where I got them, okay? I mean, you look at that. Tell me if you think that looks pretty good.
It does. It's pretty straight. I mean, there's gonna be a slight bend, but so slight.
This 10AN, like, kind of already has a bend in it.
Yeah, so
right?
that'll almost be perfect. It'll just go with the natural curve of that. This is good.
spray the end of the hose. And then I usually like to get these and just really give it a good little spray on the inside. Clean it up off the floor later. And then we'll take this right here. Really want to just twist it on. And if you look on the inside, can you see it? Yeah, maybe? Okay. See that little lip where the threads end? That's where we want to push the hose up to. So if you can't get it on by hand, then usually I'll just get the end and just tap it in. And luckily, that whole face will get covered by that face. So if you get scratches here, it's not a big deal. So now we'll just take it, shove it on, and just twist it, and try not to get your hand stabbed by the end like I just did, because especially when you put WD-40 on there, they sting quite a bit. We'll just keep going until you can't get it with your hands anymore. We'll just grab this, slowly spin her on, adjust it, move it to the back a little bit. I just like to go until I feel a nice solid stop. Now we have a line.
Beautiful.
Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this heat wrap and we're gonna cut it to size just so we can hide all the shiny silver and also protect our nice new hose. And then when we put it on, we'll take some tape and we'll stuff the ends of it so that we don't get any of this fiberglass inside of the hose. And then after that, we should be good to install. All right, now that we've got the turbo back on, hose put together, we're gonna install it.
All right, so the next thing that we're working on is the Fortunato coilovers. Huge shout out to Fortunato for sending us these, but there is one thing that we need to figure out. So the reservoir, the external reservoir that came with it came with 2 feet of length, so we have to figure out where we're gonna mount these. We did get some RS Pro mounts that we're gonna use, and we're gonna rib nut it in. It's gonna fit perfectly. We had to measure that out, make sure it fits the reservoir, and it's gonna be, it's gonna fit nice, real nice. Those are my work shoes, okay? So next on the list, we have to mount the reservoir. So if you see under here, the reservoirs are hanging, dangling. We can't have that. There's not a lot of spaces to put that where it's gonna be out of the way of the suspension, besides right on the frame rail.
Instead of putting the lift higher, he's deciding to scrunch himself up in there. He's got to sit in my height right now.
Oh yeah, you fit in here perfectly right now.
Yeah, no, I'm standing straight up. Like literally, I'm just chilling. I'm not hitting my head on anything. Meanwhile, Jared's over here like scrunched with his head up in the fuel cell hole.
All right. All right, so we've finally gotten to the point where we can make some big moves, big progress.
Or what feels like big progress.
True, that's true. All these little things that you don't really see much change is still big progress. It's necessary, needs to be done. But now we get to put the tubed front end on. So the whole front end of the car is gonna be back on and glossy black this time.
I feel like we just set up cameras for Christmas. That's But okay, kids, time to watch us open our presents now.
Oh,
Oh, I'm putting gloves on.
oh.
I'm putting gloves on. That's too pretty.
Those top 2 are ones that I already wore, so I can take those.
Okay.
All right, we got the intercooler mounted. Next, cover the piping with protective materials. And he has this all wrapped up, so even when we get it put in, you really can't see how it's gonna look in the car. As you can see, piping's in, which we had to fight the living poop out of it to get it to fit. I mean, it doesn't help that there's lots of plastic wrap on it, so it's a little bit thicker than it normally would be, but it's in. But we are definitely running into an issue on this corner with where that water neck is coming out. So that is the next thing we need to figure out. So we're gonna grab the radiator, put it in, and see what we're really up against. This was a big concern, but we have plenty of room to play.
We're fine.
This is just the fans out. We took it out of the shroud. We unbolted them.
Because we didn't think they would fit with the shroud at all.
Yeah, the shroud adds quite a bit of thickness.
This is with the shroud.
But we are close.
Close, but it'll work.
But clear. But we gotta show you this angle. This is such a money angle right there. Just having, I mean, electric fans of this girth.
And angled too.
And angled, it just looks beautiful. So this is gonna work. Fans, check it off the list of problem children. Still gonna have issues with this, but Jaren is so creative and amazing. Cause I mean, look at this over there. I mean, he's gonna make this work. This is gonna be simple for him. Simple, right? Simple.
Simple.
Easy.
Simple and easy. Totally.
We're gonna make it work. We've already thought about a few different things, but we just wanted to show you the fans. Not a problem. Fits. Looks amazing. Next step is making that work.
Yep.
All right, so we have a plan for this little tight space that wasn't gonna work. Jaren is going to build a box off of this corner and just weld a -20 bung on that box to where we have a fitting that'll go to it. So it's gonna work. He's gonna make it work.
More cutting. Jared's favorite.
Just cut it all at this point.
Hey, you know what though? By the time we're done with this, cutting's not even gonna phase you. You're gonna have gone through it so much that you're just gonna be like, yeah, it's fine.
It's the new normal.
Yeah, yeah, just cut it all.
Does it work? No? Cut it.
In hindsight, what I should have done is cut it like here and then just bent it down.
Hey, that's kind of like me feeding wires through channels in the body.
Yeah, with your whole arm that I still don't understand how you fit it in there.
Now you understand.
No. This is different than fitting your
Same.
arms in the entire chassis.
No, same.
No, not same.
Maybe different, but same.
Okay, fine. Maybe different, but same. Mark.
And now time for more cut.
It's the best.
Yeah, we need monsters.
And it's not even late.
What is it, like 9?
I
8?
know. It's probably only like 8:30.
I think it's 8 something. We're already losing it so early.
8:25.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
not even 8:30.
That's terrible. That's what happens on 1 hour of sleep. Ow! Man down! Show us your pretty fan shroud.
We now have a shroud. This is the bottom. So this is how it'll sit. So what we can do now that we have it all put together is we can mount the fans to the shroud, put the radiator back in the car, and then slide the fan shroud in and make sure that we have the right clearance everywhere before we weld it all the way up.
And if we have clearance with that, we don't necessarily need to shave it down a little shorter.
Exactly.
Depends on how much clearance. So
Exactly.
let's get it into the car. All right, so when we put it in, this fan cleared just fine. This one did not. It was hitting on this pulley, the clutch fan pulley. So Jaren went in and trimmed this down a little bit. What, about halfway?
Yeah.
Cut the height of the shroud in half And now,
when we push it in.
it's close, but it clears.
We're starting a new trend. We're calling it the fin reveal.
This will be the first time we've actually revealed the radiator. This protective,
Ooh.
has a look. This protective piece of cardboard's been on there the entire time that we've been working on it, which is good because the last radiator that I used, I took that off and it was very damaged before I even started. Wow, can we just see it already? Can you share?
Dude, the fin density on this is wild.
I wanna see. Ooh, that is good.
Okay, where's the other radiator?
Wow.
Have it? Did we toss it?
It is messing with the camera. Oh, Dan took it.
Is it gone though?
Gone.
Let me find it.
Nope, he took it.
Dude, that is insane.
That is pretty. So nice. Beautiful. Lovely. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Look at all that oogliness.
So now this shroud is permanently welded on to the radiator. It will permanently be like that, nice and solid. Jaren welded up this little gap right here because we are gonna build that box around here to kind of make that water neck portion fit. He just cut that off because we need to weld on a -20 bung. All right, we're taking this, it looks so good. Does anybody have a radiator that looks this good? No, just us.
And if you do, throw it in the comments.
Yeah, we wanna see it, show us.
Yes,
But
show
we're gonna
us.
take this beautiful radiator now and violate it a little more and drill a hole in the top of it.
For our filler neck.
For the filler neck. And it'll all make sense. If you don't understand what's going on right now, it'll all make sense in the end.
Yes.
So yet another fitment issue in this bag of fitment issues that is this car. So in order to get the radiator out, we have to tilt it forward so it clears these brackets. Well, when this box is within millimeters of the titanium, that's not gonna work. So the install process for this has to be a very particular order.
Yep.
Radiator has to go in first. Then we can do the intake manifold because the radiator has to go on an angle to slide in. Then we can do the titanium piping. After that, we can slide the fans in. After that, we can install the upper radiator hose and then the other titanium on the other side. So we have created a puzzle of a car just to get simple things put on the car.
Basically, you know that time that you're sitting there working on your car and you're just pissed off at the engineer for putting some bolt in a spot that you have to remove like half the car in order to get to one bolt? Yeah, we've done that to ourselves.
We're doing that. Yep. we're that engineer now.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be worth it.
It will be. It will be. Maybe.
And there you have it. The custom-made box to get that fitting to steer away from the titanium piping. And that's exactly how it's gonna be routed. All right, that is it for the day. And the one big lesson and takeaway point for this entire day is do not do -20 lines for your coolant. And that is why. That is literally the only little bit of tubing. The rest of the top intercooler pipe is gonna be all fitting. And we spent the last hour watching Jaren crank on the fitting.
And not scratch it.
And not scratch it.
I didn't scratch it.
There are no mar marks. Mar marks.
No
No marring. But like usual, it is late. We're calling it a night. If you guys like what you've seen, hit that big thumbs up, subscribe down below. There is a lot more to come. We'll see you guys in the next one.